JB here, June 25th, 2024, 1:37 on this fine afternoon. Really, normally I would talk about a basket of names, but I'm just going to talk about two names right now. I'm going to talk about CHWY, and then I'll talk about ENVX. I added some speculative later dated puts today, so I'll talk about that and go from there. But take a look at CHWY. Just the more I look, the more I think it's headed 35, $40. It traded one times revenues yesterday, fundamentally sound, over 1 billion in cash, 500 million in debt. So it's manageable debt. They announced a $500 million stock buyback authorization. And then I talk about pets. And, one of the names I used to love, well, I still love from back in the day is Trupanion. And Trupanion, one of the bull cases, you can take all the fundamentals, the revenues, the earnings, but what you can't take away is the fact that most folks, their pets are the most important people, right? And I'm not taking away from their family members, sons, daughters, sisters, brothers, but that's just how it works. And because of that, typically, if folks are looking to take care of their pets, they don't want to they don't want to see harm on them. They don't want to see. They want to feed them. They want to get treats, toys, clothes, whatever it is, and that's where you kind of balance the recessionary proof segment of that with a name like CHWY and Trupanion, which again I've said it for quite some many years around Trupanion, is that folks they don't want harm to come to their pet. They want to be able to take care of them. So when I look at CHWY, you take the combination of the recent earnings, the last two quarters back to back, great earnings, the recent buyback authorization, the return to growth. Then you have the Ryan Cohen backdrop. Of course, he founded the company, bought out by Petco. Was it Petco that bought them? And then you look at the longer out, and I'm saying, wow, this is going to go 35, $40. And then couple that, last but not least, is the 13% short interest. So you see it up here at 28.90. I mean, the stock was 16 and change at the end of May. So you have to think some of these shorts are, eventually just going to start to, just that's it. They're gonna pull the trigger. They're gonna say, hey, okay, that's it, and move on. And then you look and it's like, is the meme crowd going to come in? Is the GameStop crowd going to come in? Is GameStop going to announce some kind of stake in CHWY after it's raising $3-4 billion in capital? So those are some of the catalysts, but I think even outside those catalysts, it's going to run. So you look at the chart, and even shorter dated, it's over upper Bollinger Band of 20. Is it 29.08? So it's sitting here at 28.93. I think it trades up near $40 in the coming weeks. So I'll continue to look for some strikes to trade for that. Already locked some of my July calls in, which I had averaged down. I added January strikes, which seemed crazy. 70 strikes, January 70 strikes yesterday. And then all of a sudden, premiums came in. It's up over 200%. And what are they right now? Just let's see. I wish I went further out. Yeah, then yeah. Anyway, so just goes to show you, like, the stock, it's only up, I would say it's up 7%, but then the premiums all the way out into 2025 have increased incrementally, which means that folks are betting on a large move. So don't be surprised if I add more strikes. I think it heads into the 30s, 35, 40, and then who knows, we get some FOMO. And I've talked about GameStop for quite some time, but you look at fundamentally sound companies, and GameStop was, right, no debt, plenty of cash, tons of, thousands of locations, scalable. It goes on and on. But then you have CHWY. It's similar, right? So they have footprints, a retail size, brick and mortar. Then they have the ability to, maybe they're going to go outside the pet business. Maybe GameStop's going to go get that stake. Who knows? But I think there's more catalysts outside of what it's doing right now, and I think the market's starting to appreciate that. So that's CHWY. So then ENVX. So I'm not going to talk too much about ENVX. I it came to my attention when I was long Riley. Then I was Trupanion, which is one of my favorite stocks over the last couple of years. One of my top 5 stocks from back in the day. I got hit with the same folks on FinTwit who were just bashing me. Like, you would think Trupanion was the worst company on the planet, right? But maybe there's some issues. They had some issues with their filings, a recent transition with their founders, moving on, and so on and so forth. Although he did just buy stock, but But then you look at ENVX, and ENVX is the same basket of names that these folks have come after me with, and they're bullish the name. So I look at the stock, and I'm like, I don't get it. There is it's like there is not there's no detail to the stock at all. There's no revenues. There's no margins. There all it is quotes from the CEO, quotes from the president, quote all it's vapor, right? Not vaporware. I don't even know how you say it, but that's what it's been, right? The company has been around, I don't know, 17 years, and all they've done is issue these press releases. And, supposedly they had a leading consumer electronics retailer they were partnering with, another with the glasses, and then this morning it was all about they they can't even get it right. One says they won a contract with a California-based technology company, right? And then some says signed a deal. It's because what happens is the company does not release specifics around anything they do. They do generality. They're all about being general. So the funny thing is they can't announce quantities, who it's with, timelines, products, things like that. But then they'll go in their press release and then talk about the huge addressable market for you know for mixed reality headsets. Like, okay, that's great. I think anybody who's invested in the company, if you've done your due diligence, you know what that market's about, right? So if you're long VKTX, it's a huge market, right? So when you go to ENVX, they they announce you want meat, right? You want some substance, and all they do is give you things to grab at, enough for these people who are bullish names say, "Wow, great." You know, he goes on like I said this morning. The the release, it says, let's see if I can find it. He says, "We are thrilled to sign this agreement with a clear leader in the mixed reality market." Like, clear, like, we don't know clear. The only person who knows clear is you guys, right? So instead of announcing that press release, just wait till you have all the information you can send to your shareholders, unless it's material in nature. If it's material in nature, file an 8K. It says, "We have, under the terms of the agreement, they'll receive a one-time payment for the tooling of support battery dimensions." Like, what does that mean? Is it $50? Like, holy smokes. Anyway, so I sit there, and I had some puts that are way underwater. To probably, unless pending any crazy catalyst. But I looked today, and I was waiting. Finally, I had some puts. It's you know they can continue to feed investors, right? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm 100% wrong with this name. I hope for the future of my kids, you want to see technology improve. You want to see better battery life. You don't want to see the environment, things like that. So hopefully, I'm way off base, but it's like this company's been around 17 years. They're finally trying to get to a situation where they might be able to manufacture batteries. They're coming out with these vague press releases saying, "Oh, we have deals or agreements." There's nothing physical you can see that backs that up. And then the stock goes higher, and it's like they're doing this under the guise of forward-looking statements, and maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I'll continue to look for opportunities to play that for downside. Uh, you look, it's the short interest is it was 30%, and I don't trade many names, or at least trade names longer, right? So I'll trade weeklies or a couple weeks out to play for hedges. But you look, 31% short interest on ENVX. Is that some of the move today? I don't think so, because if I'm short the name, it's like this press release this morning doesn't change anything, right? There's no physical SEC filing, there's no contract you can see, there's no names, and the irony, or at least what the thing that makes me more cynical, is that they didn't announce the geographic location of their deal when they announced that they had a deal with the top 7 OEM manufacturer on their last earnings call. And now all of a sudden they're doing this press release this morning. They say it's in California. So if you look at California, what is the biggest name in the headset, or whatever they want to call it, business right now? It's Oculus, it's Facebook, so Meta. So all it doesn't remove uncertainty, it creates speculation. It allows these bulls and folks to say, "Oh wow, it's Facebook. Buy the stock before they announce it's Facebook." So it just reeks. I don't know. And he CEO founder from he's Micron, and he'll cite all that stuff. Um, ENVX already touted him as he was announced as CEO of the year at some crazy website. Uh, it's like they're trying to legitimize their business, which, hey, if it's the best battery on the market, gosh, I would think that someone would have bought them out already, right? Now it's $2.8 billion market cap, but a lot of that's on these fluff press releases. Give us some information, so on and so forth, or maybe that's their business plan. I don't know. But that's why I got the puts. I'll probably not talk about it too much after this. I went on Twitter to try and talk about it, and I just got not destroyed, but it's not worth my time to argue with some of these folks because hey, maybe they're right. I'm not going to sit there and pretend I'm wrong on it, but there's so many red flags that it reeks of something that's not right. And then they hired these folks, these great people from these great companies to kind of rescue it, to rescue the technology. Maybe they have partnerships or whatever. Doesn't mean they're bad people. I mean, he's getting paid, the CEO is getting paid $17 million. Good for him. But, and he's going to go on and try to do a spin, try and get some sales and whatever. Um, Under the guise of forward-looking statements, right? He's not going to lie, right? You would hope not. He has a script. He follows the script that doesn't address the battery density, the battery which has these plates that are supposed to protect it from expanding. They can't be curved, right? So take a look at what happens with companies that want to do lenses, glasses. Anybody who wants to do the Oculus, those batteries are not flat. They're curved. You can't do a curved battery with the technology and patents, which, I mean, it's only 58 patents, but ENVX has. Rants for other days. I think that's it. I'll try and get back on later. There's Spotify 321. It's going to drive me nuts. Maybe I'll try and get some out of money calls into Friday for a move to over 335. And I think that's it, folks. Let's have a great day. I'll be back on later. Rock and roll.